call the meeting to order. Madam Secretary, prepare to take minutes. All right, we are officially calling this meeting of Brooklyn Community Board 9 to order. Note please the time is 7:03 p.m. I want to thank everyone for coming to this general board meeting of Brooklyn Community Board 9. I want to thank everyone for coming. I want to thank our board members for your service. I want to thank all those members of the community who are out here with us this evening as well. We look forward to a good dialogue. We look forward to providing updates in terms of things that are affecting our community as well, and hearing from the community partners. My name is Fred Baptiste. I serve as chair of the board. On the days with me, we have our treasurer, secretary, Linda Watson-Lloyd. We have our first vice chair, Ethan Borgos. We have our second vice chair, Ms. Robertson. And we are going to begin at this time. We are going to, normally we would do the rules of order for the meeting. We are going to waive the rules for this evening as we have a full agenda. The only reminder I have is for everyone is that we need to make sure that we are respectful of all the comments. We are respectful of all the rules of the House. Even in disagreement, we need to allow everyone to have their time when they are given the floor. We ask everyone to as well. Please make sure you adhere to all time limits. Speakers, please keep your remarks concise. We have a very, very full agenda. We want to make sure that you're heard. We want to make sure that everyone is able to be heard as well. And we're able to respect the space and get out of time. All right, at this time, we're going to do presentations. At this time, we have a representative from BRIC with us this evening. All right, welcome. You guys.
Oh, this is the speaker list, right? What happened?
It feels good to be first. ACB 9 under different titles with all one company. So BRIC, Bars Media, a full art institution. We're located downtown Brooklyn. We're on the Dam campus. It's right on Fulton and it's 647 Fulton Street. If any of you ever heard of Celebrate Brooklyn, that's also BRIC. That's our concert series that we have in Prospect Park during the summertime. You may have also heard of Brooklyn Free Speech. If not, I'm sure you've heard of BCAT, Brooklyn Cable Access Television. So we retired that name a few years ago. You guys are here first to hear that we are resurrecting that name. So by the end of the year, you'll see the comeback of BCAT. So we're going to retire Brooklyn Free Speech and bring back Beacon Power Space downtown Brooklyn. You walk right into a gallery on the first space for a company called Data by Design, which took information and from the city. Very obscure information on how many people report rats to how many subway cars are operating. All of these things were challenged to artists to go ahead and create art out of this obscure statistics and analytics. I do have some materials that's available for you over here. This is our main catalog for education. We educate everyone in media. This is adult education, by the way. We educate you on how to create podcasting for yourself, television studio productions for yourself. If you're interested in learning how to edit on a professional level, we have that also. We also go into the public schools to teach youth on how to create media. So those flyers are also on there. We have Teen Takeover, Concrete Stories. This is a film festival for youth. Those flyers are here. We also have a stipend-based photography class. That means you send your kids to go and take this course, and at the end we pay them. Let me see what we have. $200 stipend after they complete 8 weeks. So that's called Capture Your World Teen Photography Boot Camp for 2026. We also have the Teen Filmmaking Boot Camp. You shoot, you edit, you create. And we are an Emmy Award-winning studio at BRIC, so we've won a lot of New York Emmys at BRIC, and those opportunities are open for you as well if you want So these teens are from 14 to 18 years old. So I don't think I introduced myself. My name is Rob Gilmore. I'm the Associate Director of Community Impact. That's a division of the partnerships for BRIC. So we deal with all partnerships, and we deal with activations like this, coming out to the community, let you know that we exist, what we're offering the community. We also do a lot of workforce. So we work with third-party organizations to bring in SYP for some who are interested in learning media. We also deal with a company called RealWorks. So we are out educating the public on anything media and anything dealing with arts and arts expression. We also media.org, and you look up a group that I supervise. They're called ICAC. That's Intergenerational Community Arts Council. They are based out of Fort Greene. So they're based out of Fort Greene, and we just got green light for our grant with Eisner Foundation for another year to expand ICAC. So if you go on here, you look up the description of ICAC, you look up the members who are already there. We're going to expand through our Brooklyn partner, so we're going to extend the ICAC group. We're looking to Jackson has a vision to expand it. If you have any questions, I'll hang on.
Thank you very much. Do we have a representative from the Caribbean Women's Health Association?
Hello, my name is Chris Johnson. It's a real pleasure to be here tonight. Thank you for giving us a couple of minutes to speak. This is a bit of a reunion for me in a bunch of different ways. Walking up to the front gate, and my family literally lived across the street at 12 Crown Street when I was a little kid. And you know, this space was one of my favorite places in the world. I haven't been back to this community board since 1999. I was a few years out of college, and feels like it was a different species. At the time, I was a few years away from being a college athlete. Felt like I was kind of invulnerable and was capable of doing everything. Today, I'm here to talk to you about health issues. I had a kidney replacement surgery a few years ago. I go get injections into my eyes on a regular basis because of diabetes and the impact of diabetes. And there are other health issues that I have that are related to that. And that's not something that's unique to me. We live in one of the most amazing places in the world here in Brooklyn. But one of the realities of being from Brooklyn is that we face so many unique challenges. About 10 years ago, I ran a program called Health Hip, trying to use young people's interest in love of hip hop and basketball to attract them to talk about adolescent HIV and AIDS. At that time, Brooklyn had the highest rates in the whole country. That's changed. It didn't just change because of community groups like the one that I was working with that was really focused on the issue, was focused on public education. It changed because the different faith-based organizations, the different community-based organizations, and the different hospitals came together to share resources. The communities came together because they saw how important it was that a disease that once scared the whole world was now virtually silent because people thought that there was a cure and it wasn't impacting people anymore. But it was still impacting poor communities, it was still impacting communities of color. And that's true with so many chronic diseases like hypertension, like cancer, like diabetes. And what I'm here to talk to you about is an organization called Caribbean Women's Health Association, an organization that's been in the community for 40 years, doing excellent work around health, education, health services, and immigration work. They do now provide services around mental health services for free. They provide services for people who are looking to get their green card or extend their green card or to get full citizenship. They have doulas and have helped to address issues around early birth issues. And they do a bunch of other things to impact communities through meeting people where they are and dealing with addressing people's issues with language barriers and other barriers to their communities. And we'll have a bunch of materials over here that we hope that you'll take a look at. If you know someone in your community who is dealing with issues around access to healthcare or around access to mental health care, please take a look at that. Please give us a call. If you know a faith institution, one of our health educators, and I'm not a health educator, I'm somebody who has a great appreciation of learning about family health history. Sources are school-based institutions and community institutions. You're the most active people in the community. I know people in the business world and a bunch of other things. Oh, what are you going to community boards for? It's because the people who are sitting in the seats in front of you, you're the people who run the housing associations, you're the most active people, and we have to work to get the word out about things like cancer, where Brooklyn has the second highest rates in the city, and what are the organizations that have resources? Or chronic illnesses. Please have them reach out to us. If you have people who are looking for other services, like I said before, mental health services, please reach out to us. Thank you again for letting us come in and make a presentation to your group. Really appreciate it. It's right at the end of the stage. And if you don't mind, I've got a sign-in sheet where I'm hoping a couple of people will sign so I can bring it back to my boss and surroundings.
Okay, look into the camera. All right, this time we're going to go to item C in our presentation. Do we have a representative for our street clonating request that we'll be considering this evening? Do you have any representatives? All right, so what we will do is we're going to transportation chair will give the background with respect to the clonating during this session.
We'll be able to ask questions.
Okay, we'll do that, so we'll allow him. All right, so this time we're going to hear from transportation.
Good evening, folks. We were approached by the group to co-name Franklin Avenue in our meeting earlier this month. To summarize, generally they want to have Franklin Avenue co-named as Middletown, and in our district, the setting would be from a couple blocks down to President Street. And historically, Franklin Avenue has been the center, the hotspot of planning and activity in Brooklyn. And they're generally seeking to have this co-naming to sort of honor their contributions to the borough, to the district, and is supported by other groups as well. The general idea behind this is that there has been a bit of waiting activity in the area, but they want to highlight the fact that they have contributed quite a bit, and it also serves as a renewed sense of attention and investment into that area on behalf of all the planning and residents still reside there. They have their annual planning and data read every end of August in Bergen Street, and residents, and essentially, so it's an investment, and there's also plans for a heritage center to be in that center. The committee approves the application unanimously. After a pretty long session and one of our questions, the overall committee supports the idea, and it will be up for a vote today in the business session. Ultimately.
All right, are there questions with regards to the report? Let me just get creative speakers. Ms. Boyd, I see you have a question, hold on. We're gonna create. Anyone else? Ms. Boyd, do you have a question or?
Well, I missed the first one. Yeah, okay, the first question is, if this group is concerned about wanting to do this culture meeting, if this group is concerned about wanting to do a culture meeting, I'm shocked that they're not doing it. I mean, because this is, it seems to me that putting your name on an official signage is an important event and it should not be taken lightly. And so I'm kind of wondering, did you inform the group to come here and to present to the general board? Did they understand the importance of doing that so that their request can be, properly appreciated?
I didn't talk to the council of board meeting, I did I don't want to. I believe they came in the committee meeting and they brought multiple pages of signatures in support of the had letters from city senators.
Which senators were those?
I believe it was Senator Murray. I believe they had a city council support as well as part of their application. So they didn't take it lightly. They made sure that, and I believe that we get the wrong, I'm not sure.
So you never informed them.
I didn't require them to come to the full board meeting, but I'm sure that they informed what the process is. I'm not sure every applicant has come to the full board meeting.
Hold on 1 second. The district manager has a, but
They confirmed with us this morning that they were going to be here, the representatives for the street committee. I'm looking at my email right now, just an FYI. So they're not here, that's on them. I have the confirmation right here in real time, so it's not us.
with that, I will, just because I know that we have changed location, and I think a lot of times there might be some confusion around that as well, so we will see what happens. I'm not sure Dante or if it's possible to reach out just to confirm that they understood that what will be the board directly when they arrive. All right, so this is where we took your question, and we'll have additional information when we get to the business session. Are there any questions? We can take one more. Okay, seeing none, thank you very much. All right, at this time, we are from our land use chair with regards to a resolution that is going to be considered this evening regarding the fast track program for the city.
So you'll all remember the ballot questions that we voted on this past November. They did pass. Question number 2 was the fast track for affordable housing. And there's 2 parts to that. One addresses the 12 districts that produced the least affordable housing in the previous 5-year cycle. And the second part of it is for all types of housing development corporations that want an alternative process to a rezoning called the Board of Standards and Appeals. So right now, because the ballot amendments were not very specific, it's now going through a rulemaking process with the agencies, meaning the City Planning Commission and the Board of Standards and Appeals, and there will be public hearings, and they are accepting public comments. So as a board, we want to make sure that the way in which the rules are being implemented works for us. We want to make sure that it works for our district, and so we made some recommendations, and our community board, and so we made some recommendations on that. And the affordable housing, at least for the 5-year cycle, but for the 5-year cycle list from 2026 to 2031, we don't know. And so our recommendations are.
What's going on?
So our recommendations are first, are.
The woman's, let's start.
So our recommendations are the same courtesies that we get for the regular Bueller land use project formally certifies and the formal review period begins. And that if a to review those applications. And we also want to make sure preservation units can count towards production of affordable housing. Because we have a lot of affordable housing. For example, I'm told that Tivoli Towers has an affordable agreement that may be expiring in coming years. We want to make sure those people can stay on foreclosure. Those should also be able to count towards affordable housing if they were not previously income restricted. And likewise, permitting construction can take a very long time to the zoning variances that they're asking for. So that's it. And can I take questions?
Yes, we're gonna take a quick speakers list. I would ask for members of the board, please hold your questions until we get to it. Are there any questions?
I wanted to ask you a question. You said something about Tivoli Towers, about the low income. I didn't quite understand what you were saying.
Affordable housing, and I was told by someone on my committee that that agreement may be expiring. And so, like, examples of when affordability agreements expire, like there were some tax credit buildings that got 421A tax credits that are expiring in the next couple of years. And so
they are what you want.
point at which they're allowed to go free, they can make a choice to go free market. And so if there's an opportunity to extend the affordability, that's something we want to see happen.
Okay, we closed, Ms. Boyd was said, but that, we're closed after that, okay?
Major changes because of your process is a public major changes because of your process is a public process that they have to present to the community board. The community board has an opinion on the BSA is just the board that has an opinion on the BSA is just the board that has been created to the mayor. So it's a board, and basically hope that they will not be going through what we know through the borough president. I think that.
So I urge you, the public of these, which is another thing that we're not happy about, that the public hearings are taking place on the same day and at the same time for 2 different agencies. Sounds like they're not that crazy about having public testify. This is on the agency websites. I know it's very hard to see here, but we did email out a copy of this to the board members. So check the email document. It's easier to see the links there. And you can also submit, but you need to do it before April 1st for the city planning fast track. And the form, we're not happy that the timeline was so tight. The city planning came until the 25th. So it really gives the public almost no time to respond once they understand what the rulemaking is about. And we've asked, as a district, we've written to the Department of City Planning and asked for an extension. But we don't know what's going to happen, so do get your testimony in if this is something.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, at this time, this one final call. Do we have any representative from Franklin Avenue? Okay. All right, at this time, we are now going to move into the public comment session. So public comment session is scheduled for 30 minutes. All speakers are allowed 3 minutes. Please, we have a full list this evening, so I ask everyone, please, left, please make sure. All right, first speaker we have is, and I apologize in advance, Justina.
Neighbors, homeowners living 8 units at 351 Hawthorne Street. I'm here to values in our community, the values I protect expense of its neighbors. As a Christian myself, please believe that it pains me to bring to you the 2 years of harm they have caused our families. For 2 years, the church's HVAC system, which sits immediately opposite our backyard property line, measured by the DEP at 5 to 6 times the legal limit. This is not a nuisance. Even with the windows are literally vibrating constantly. And this is not a neighborhood dispute. It is now a documented and issued 3 separate noise violations, which is the maximum number they can issue against the property in the last 24 months. The church failed to contest these at the open hearings and has defaulted on all 3. They are effectively ignoring the city's legal summons. For over 18 months, the church leadership has told us directly compliance. I do have to print the DOB search that shows there's no permit, but I can bring that to you at another time. But yeah, we look forward to your help in restoring our peace in our neighborhood. Thank you. So this defines the distribution for your record. Do I just sit down?
Oh, yes. All right, next speaker, and I apologize again, I'll try it. Nuratu Otulana. Was that close?
Good evening to all of you. My name is Nuratu Otulana. I'm a lifelong New Yorker. I am a multiple degree holder who was educated in New York City's public education system of community. I'm a community activist, a health worker specializing in reproductive justice. I'm a mother, I'm a doula, and a child educator. And I am actually here before you all to ask questions about the site at 7399 Empire Boulevard. Is there one explanation or some more clarity that can be offered around guarantees that exist to prevent pollution and contamination from polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons, lead, and mercury, which cause lifelong irreversible birth defects to the nervous system. I'd also like to know why the answer to the housing crisis in New York is to build more instead of to manage the current supply. We're constantly being told the answer to New York City's houses that are inaccessible to renters, including myself, who are on housing search. So is there information that can be provided by any and all here in how we address the goal for more or additional housing that is actually remain in the other housing?
There's a lot there that's in there. Unfortunately, we can't address the board to the land use chair as well. I think we might share some of the information in terms of how these conversations have been progressing. Yeah, that's been the epicenter of that for a while. There's a lot of conversations happening and that are continuing to happen as well. But I do thank you for coming out this evening and saying your concerns. There are a lot of neighbors who share those issues as well. So thank you very much for coming out, and we'll talk afterwards. All right, at this time, we'd like to invite to the front Ms. Takesha Newton.
Thank you. I'm grateful for having me. My name is Ms. Takesha Newton, student at the Legal Aid Society, and we are celebrating 150 years of servicing our community members. Legal Aid. Thank you so much for having us. Yeah, 11th from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. We will have a youth DJ. We will have free raffles, free book giveaways, foods, and we'll be joined by our Brooklyn Borough President, our Brooklyn Council members, and elected officials, so that they can hear community, so that they can understand what they are experiencing and the changes that we want to see made and build a new Brooklyn for us all. Thank you so much.
Judge this year, and so I just wanted to thank you. I wanted to share some information about myself. I also have Paul after the meeting. I'll stick around for questions. I am a born and raised Brooklynite. I grew up in Crown Heights and Canarsie, and I returned to Crown Heights as an adult to live here in the neighborhood. I currently work as a court attorney, and I do divorce trials there as a referee for the judges. Before that, I worked in Brooklyn. I'm running for civil court judge at this time because in these capacities, I get out of court attorneys and who have to represent themselves, and I know social services and legal aid society are overburdened and can't represent. It helps everyone know what their rights are, know what they can bring to court, and how they can represent themselves and fight the issues that they have on their own in the court system. So thank you very much for your time.
Our next speaker is Anthony Bowen.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, I'm also running for civil court judge in Brownsville, East Stuyvesant, Brooklyn in 1999 by way of for me, sir, as well, because when I moved here in 1999, I lived on Lincoln Place between Washington and Underhill, not far from here. And I began working for a small firm in Canarsie, like Blackmans and Remsen, doing general practice work, primarily representing individuals and small business owners just like you. This is the community because it's apparent to me, as it should be apparent to all attorneys, that without the community, we don't have work to do. And therefore, we did things like voter registration drives to keep the community. We did coat drives each year in order to give generally worn coats or new coats to those in need. We did financial wellness seminars to keep people informed about how to balance the state of New York. Number two, I think it's important to have a judiciary have more confidence in the people on the bench when they come to court. Judiciary to provide mutual respect, so you have confidence. If I'm fortunate enough to be, I will judge the facts impartially, and I will always apply the law.
Everyone, my name is Alicia Boyd, and I represent UNTOP, Movement to Protect the People. Just 12 years ago, we were meeting in this facility right here when there was a massive proposal to change the character of our community by rezoning underneath the doing a community plan. Was hosting those meetings with the Tenants Association. And we were the first Black community to stop a massive rezoning from happening. And if we hadn't stopped it, we would be looking like downtown. But we made history that day, and Greg was a part of that history as well. However, since that time, we have struggled with developers and private developers coming now, one by one, going to court as opposed to litigant, because we don't have money to hire attorneys. And currently, we are now doing that right now again. There is a development site, 7399 Empire Boulevard. It was supposed to have all this remediation protection. It has asbestos, it has lead, it has mercury in its soil between 0 to 2 feet. That's the moment you step on it, you're disturbing soil, you're disturbing these toxins. What we found was that instead of this development project adhering to any of the requirements from city, state, and federal government about a toxic site, they did no remediation on the site. They went and demolished 2 buildings, removed asbestos, and not one remediation plan was put in place for them to do that. Now this went through the land use committee. You guys voted against this project. They assured us that this remediation would happen before the land was touched, and they specifically said before any soil was disturbed. But this did not happen. So we then filed a lawsuit. And because of that lawsuit, now they are compliant with the law. Only because we have to follow. None of our city agencies were willing to demand that they comply. Our elected officials put their heads in the sand and act like it wasn't going on. People were getting sick. Pregnant women were producing babies that had difficulties. And yet our elected officials just slammed the door on us, would not even meet with us. But we filed a lawsuit, and now, between March 12th and April 26th, you, the community, have the right to talk about and demand certain things of this development site. Now, I'm not expecting you to know what those things are, because that's my job, and I do that very well. But it's important that you understand that you now have the power to talk about this site and demand certain conditions. If you would like to do that, first, the board has already sent out a notice asking for this community input. But if you would like to know what you should be demanding, then please. So if you don't mind, drones and take my information and then reach out to me. If you want to know exactly what you should be filing, my information is info, I-N-F-O, at mtop, that's mtopp.org. Again, info at mtop.org. Throw me a line and I will send you exactly what we are demanding. And if you are on my email, and some of you are, you're gonna get that anyway. So please, do your due diligence. We made the opportunity for you to say something. Please take the opportunity to do that. Thank you.
At this time, we'll hear from Tony Williams.
Okay, some people still, I'm sorry, some people are still confused about the email. It's info@mtop.org. Thank you. Sorry about that. No, I did not. But CD9 sent out, CD9 sent out a notice to the public of this period of time. Did not?
Yes.
So if you go on the CD9 website and on that, okay. If you contact me, I'll put you on. Get some records as well. Get you notice. If you want my case.
It's funny that you said that, because I was just about to ask Dante about that, because I have a few people in my neighborhood when it said about the written portion that I guess remedial investigation, a few people did it too. I think the NYSDC, you answered one of my questions.
Well, definitely forward all the information that I can.
Okay, that'll work. All right, thank you. Hi, my name is Tony Williams. Usually when I come, I complain about affordable housing. I do that today. I'm gonna try to stay under 3 minutes. My issue is storages. We have more storages in Crown Heights than we have liquor stores. And not only do we have storages, they are predatory. They really are, and they're not regulated. So who can you talk to find out how to advocate for consumer protections for people in the neighborhood who had a $45 storage or $29.99 storage and now jumped up to $120 and they're holding their things hostage, ready to auction them off? Who can you talk to about this? Because this is a real problem in the community. And I am one of those people. I don't want to sit and talk to myself. I want to actually get something done.
And unfortunately, people like to, I guess they feel comfort in just arguing about stuff amongst themselves and not putting the pen to the paper, or maybe they don't know who to write. So who can you talk to before you talk to Cunningham and Myrie? Is there anybody in the middle to talk to before you take it to that level? Because they're really predatory. It went from Treasure Island to CubeSmart, now it's Manhattan Mini Storage, and it is expensive. And the fees are crazy. So people are complaining. I mean, they're paying it, unfortunately, but they're complaining. So, like, who do you talk to about consumer protection for the little people? And that's what I have to say. Have a good night.
Thank you very much for the commentary and question. Very briefly, Dante, did you want to speak to that, or anything from the district office?
I have nothing to say because you just brought it to the forefront, but I will find out who we can speak to, like the Department of Consumer and Worker Protection. Right. All right. I'll get your liaison on the horn and then I'll email you because I have your
So the district manager will address that as the direct contact. But with that said, also continue to engage the elected officials as well, because sometimes there are things that need to be developed on the state level in terms of if there are predatory practices. That should be legislation, those should be community conversations. And thank you very much for bringing it up, because sometimes I think we suffer in silence. We think we're the only ones.
Trauma bomb.
But this is the way we actually are able to communicate these things and develop solutions and work together and help other people. Even if we got caught, we help someone else. The district manager will speak to you after this, and it'll be useful to do. All right, I apologize. So we have our last speaker for the evening, the public session. We have Michelle D'Souza. Did I get your name right?
Yes, you did.
All right, I'm 8
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
My name is Michelle D'Souza Forte. I am running for civil court judge in the 6th district, which encompasses Prospect Heights, Crown Heights, Flatbush, East Flatbush, Midwood, Kensington, parts of Borough Park, and parts of Midwood at the bottom of goes to Avenue M. Just to give you a marcation, goes from Avenue M to Atlantic Avenue, goes to Eastern Parkway, all the way to Marlborough Road. If you live in any parts of this district, I would appreciate a mom, a wife, and after I became a school, after I graduated, I came back to New York. In New York, I was born and raised, but born in Guyana, came here with my family, and then we moved to Lenox Road and Nostrum Avenue, where I grew up. I went to Erasmus Hall High School, and after I graduated, I did a short stint at LIU, and I then on to Social Council, where I represent the city of New York with personal injury cases. I am on leave because I declared my candidacy. I am also, before I started my working at the law department estate, I did the family law where I did custody cases, I did landlord tenant, anything actually that came in the door, I did. Now I am, and while a solo practice, I did seminars in the community informing our people the importance of estate planning, of having a will, completing advanced directive, having your healthcare proxy in place in case of an medical emergency. And while serving my community, I moved on and went to work with Mulligan Young, which is a firm that totally all their practice was elder care law. And so that was near and dear to my heart. And I'm running to be a judge because I want to continue my community service. And being a public servant is important. And you're serving the people. And that is why I would like your support as I run for a civil court judge in the 6th district. Thank you for hearing me.
who's come and spoken this evening and shared news or about events or things that are happening or people who are running for office. And in general, just sharing about the things that are happening in the community. This session is very important for this board as, you know, even though we are more than 40 plus members strong, and we represent different aspects of the neighborhood, we don't know everything. So we really count on public commentary to be able to understand what's going on, where the pain points are, and where we need to be activating as a community board and as a district. So I thank everyone for that. I also want to invite everyone to continue these conversations because we know that we are limited to this time of year in our committee meetings. So we have 10 different committees which are dedicated to different subject areas where we are able to have those extended conversations so we can really understand what's going on. I invite everyone who's here and all those who are watching as well online to please look at the district calendar. It's also part of our e-blast. And we invite you to come and to share and to help us develop solutions that help our district. Thank you very much. Okay, at this time, we are now going to go to our public comment. Oh, actually, before we go there, at this time, we do have a representative. We do have a representative for the Franklin Avenue co-naming. So we discussed it briefly before, but we would like you to come forward and just say a couple of words about the show.
Mr. Chair, thank you. Good evening, everyone. I'm here with Ray Willis, my co-leader. My name is Lugo Ramirez. I'm a professor of law at the City University of New York. Had the privilege of serving CD9 as the vice chair, second vice chair, also the chair of the Youth Service Committee many years back. We are proposing the whole name, not the street name change from Franklin Avenue, President Street to Union Street at Little Panama. We had designation done to make it a cultural district passage here on Franklin Avenue every year. On behalf of the 45,000 Panamanians in Brooklyn who came to Franklin Avenue in 1952, my uncle, my father, brother was one. 30 of them came and they served. They were automatically put green card stuff, those stuff, they were automatically given that. They had to register for the war. They served 2 terms in Vietnam and the Korean War. They settled in Franklin Avenue, that group, and it grew. And on behalf of those who are in their 80s and 90s now, this group is proposing to have that designation as Little Panama on there. In closing, I think you know Wanda Stewart, senator in this district that Byron holds now today, 1969 to 72. Ed Griffin was the chair of the delegation serving in 70. So Panamanians have contributed in education, in law, in politics, in government, in the civil service, and in so many different aspects here on Franklin Avenue from 1953. So on behalf of those who are in your 80s and 90s that have said to us, it's not only baseball, it's not only Mariano Rivera, it's not only basketball where we do in sports as well. There have been many bars, at least 12 bars, restaurants on Franklin Avenue for over 25 years that were Panamanian-led and run by. Today there may be 4 or 5 that are still in existence. So I'll turn it over to Maria and answer any questions, but these are the 2 blocks that we put forth to have name, co-name. We don't want to change Franklin Avenue at Little Panama. Okay, and I'll take any questions if the chair allows me. Maria?
Good evening, all. I am Dr. Maria Willis, and I'm part of Panama 507 Roundtable Group. I'm also the president of Day of Independence Committee of Panamanians in New York, also known as the Panamanian Parade. This will be our 31st year having the parade on Franklin Avenue. We start from Bernie Street on Franklin, and it ends Classen, Eastern Parkway, Washington, that area with a festival. The parade is every year on the 2nd Saturday in the month of October. This year it will be on October 10th. And we have students coming from Panama internationally. We have bands coming from other states. We have families that come to this event. It's a cultural event celebrating our culture, our heritage, and just inviting the whole community to come and celebrate with us. It's a good thing for families because it's not only adults that come, but children, young adults can learn to play instruments with the bands. There's representation of the entire community in the bands and different organizations. other organizations that participate that are booked in place and are not is that my time? Are the disciplinary group, the Molders group, the Pedagogy Association, the
One question, we did a poor invitation trying to cover everything we did, but we'll take a question. Okay, and we have to be very brief, because we do have a very brief time. Ms. Boyd, you have a question? Are there any questions? We're gonna close.
I just need to understand, you said you're not trying to change the front for that. So could you just explain that, what that
Co-naming,
means?
rather than renaming, it's co-naming.
So what the
Co-naming
sign
means
say?
the word Little Panama will go to the bottom of Franklin Avenue.
Are you gonna like it?
Thank you so much for joining us this evening. So we're going to consider the application when we get to the business section.
Okay.
You are more than welcome to stay, but if you have to go, that's fine. We will let you know if the termination happens. But more than welcome to stay.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, so we are now 6 minutes after 8. We want to make sure we're able to respect the space and get done. We have a lot of work to do this evening. So we are now going to go. We are now going to go into acknowledgements. At this time, well, actually, are there any elected officials or representatives who have not signed on my roster? Anyone see? Are there any other elected officials or representatives who have not signed on to the roster? Seeing none, and we are off. Right now, we have a representative from State Senator Zelda O'Meyer's office.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Portia Edwards. I'm the District Director for State Senator Zelda O'Meyer's office. Just bringing greetings from our office. No updates right now, except the Senator is currently in budget negotiations at all meetings, so he's upstate at the moment, and probably won't be back down until those things are over. But as we do on a regular basis, we send out budget updates. We send out legislative updates via our e-blast every week. If you'd like to be a part of that, if you're not a part of that already, if you'd like to be a part of it, just see me after our meeting with your folks so that we can get you on that list. If you don't know, our office is located at 1077 Nostrand Avenue. Such a success. I am so excited about it. We normally do a sixth year clinic in June. We do one at the end of June every year in partnership with Brooklyn Basketball and Brooklyn Nets. This year we wanted to focus for Women's History Month, International Women's History Month. We wanted to focus on all girls, and so we did that for this past Saturday. We had over 60 girls register, and they came out. We had coaches from the Nets, coaches from the Liberty come out and train our young ladies. It was absolutely an awesome sight to see. For those of you who were there, for those who really enjoyed it, and we look forward again to doing it next year. We're going to be doing the one in June again. All girls are welcome, all boys are welcome. So definitely stay tuned for that and keep your eyes open for that. Our next upcoming event is happening in May. It's May 5th, actually on Cinco de Mayo. We are doing a job fair. It's host every year. We do it twice a year, one in the spring, one in the fall. And it's going to be in partnership with Seven Number Cunningham's office, Department of Labor, Brooklyn Public Library, offices. They're going to come up here and they're going to announce it too, so you don't have to worry. I'm not leaving them out on purpose. But just a quick correction, handmaking in our office, just so you know. It's from Costa Rica, which is absolutely right on the board for renaming, so we're super excited today it comes to fruition. And it's May 5th.
We also have
What's the name of the assembly member?
Farrah Subramanian.
Good evening, everybody. I'm repping for here to listen and take the temperature of this as a resource. We help folks with housing needs, also employment needs. If you're having any challenges finding employment, or if you are having challenges with the Department of Labor, applying for your employment agencies. So I will be in the back of the room with my clipboard if you want to connect, or if you need any support, you want to talk about the 7399 Empire Boulevard public comment that is going through to April 26th, correct? Okay, our office wanted to encourage everybody's public participation. I know the board sends out a link that you could submit written comments to make sure everybody's voices and concerns. Also making sure that we're asking the Department of Environmental Conservation questions behind the scenes to make sure that. Have a good evening. Thank you very much.
At this time, we'd like to call forward a representative from Senator Brian Cunningham.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Aomi Salang. I serve as the District Office Director to the Senator Brian Cunningham. So we have a few flyers here. So we have 2 Easter egg rolls coming up on Saturday, April 4th from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Prospect Park. Then we also have one at Laurel Park from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. We are in partnership with our district leaders who are here this evening with us. Just to reiterate our job fair, I have my students as well, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Central Library. It is all the electeds coming together truly just to make sure that we address the need for unemployment. And there's also we also have our constituent flyer here as well, so any constituent needs that you want to address with our office, this one pager just shows you exactly what we do. But we are a community resource hub, so if you have any questions or concerns, we'll do our best to address them. And last flyer, tomorrow, you still can come in because it's still spaces open, but we have our come to us tomorrow. It is going to be from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Okay, and yes, Ms. Boyd, we are still addressing the 7399 Empire Boulevard. We are still working with DOB as well as DEC just to make sure that all the concerns locate the community. But yes, and please, everyone, that public comment period, if you could please engage with it, it'll be very good. Thank you.
I'm sorry, we need to make sure that we're in order, but we have to continue. The Waterman's office?
Everyone, board members. Good evening, thank you for having us again. My name is Jennifer Richards, Assembly Member Monique Chandler Waterman. Of course, the Assembly Member couldn't be here tonight, so we want to apologize for her absence, but she's in our as I believe all your representatives are right now, and they are engaged in budget making decisions. So that's where she is. Otherwise, you know she would be here with you tonight. Last Saturday, we had a very successful Vital Voice youth-led community meeting and at that time we were able to honor 28 young entrepreneurs, students, and in celebration of Women's Month, we were also able to honor 21 women for their contribution to the development of the community. That was very important to us, and those persons who were awarded were very happy and grateful that their contributions were recognized. Our next big event will happen on April 18th, and you're all invited to come. It will be this, and that will be at PS Jack. Attend that function. Of course, if you turn up, we won't turn you away. But it's always good to RSVP. meeting on Saturday, quite a few persons brought flyers, and we took some that we thought would be of interest to you all. And this one is quickly coming to a close. Go to their website, you'll be able to see which one is still open. The closing date for those that are still open will be March 27, 2026. Our of course, they must reside in District 58 or District 59 side. So once you're in District 58, I know we have a small portion. You can sign up for that. We will also, the Assemblywoman, in conjunction with East Flatbush Village, will be having an egg hunt on April 4th, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. at Heligat Park between Albany Avenue and Foster Avenue. So you are also invited to attend that as well. So those are the announcements we have. Of course, our usual offerings remain, that always is the food pop that we have every first and third Thursday in the month, and everyone is invited to come along. So thank you for having us again.
All right, at this time, we have with us this evening, we have our female leader for the female district leader for the 43rd district, Michelle Teje.
We are going to save you 3 minutes by coming together since we are co-leaders.
This is leadership.
So hi again, everyone. Good evening. If I'm meeting you for the first, If we're meeting you for the first time, I'm Michelle Teje. I was appointed as your district leader here in January, and I'm excited that I will be running. I am a strong candidate for our election for primary June 23rd. Thank you to our candidates, the judge who are coming out. It's a very important role. Those who serve as delegates to the Judicial Convention, this is part of the work. This is part of the culmination of the work that you do out there.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Anthony Beckford. I'm your elected state committee member and also your district leader from 2024. I'm going up for re-election as well too. You know, I'm glad to have my co-leader, Michelle Teje, who was appointed in January 5th. So like that, this job is not a one-person task. It takes 2 leaders to make sure that we make sure our district is good, but also to make sure that your democracy is upheld and protected as well. And you know, these judicial candidates here, we also did endorse them and supported them through our judicial delegates and also our county committee members as well. But that's not just what we do, right? The job is what we bring into it and what we basically can offer you. So any issues you have, we're open to being able to partner with you on, collaborate, but also to direct you in the past and use us as a buffer, for a lot of your elected officials as well too. If you can't get a hold of them, we'll make sure that we're able to provide them a connection as well. Those who know me know that I'm very well versed in accountability and so like that. But also make sure attention is brought to your issues, and we're just going to continue that from now and until you get time. But definitely, thank you to the board, Dante, Fred, and the rest of the board members, so like that, for everything that you've been doing, the updates you have been giving us as well too, so that we can share it out to the community as well, especially our community members who are our eyes and ears in the community as well too. And again, if any of you want to join what we're doing, we always have county committee that's every 2 years. We have judicial delegates every year, so please do not be afraid to contact us. You see us on the streets, say hi. We don't mind. All right. You can reach me at info@anthonybeckford.com.
And I am Teje for Brooklyn.com. That's TEGEFOR, Brooklyn spelled out.com.
All right, at this time, we're happy to have with us representatives from the 71st Precinct. We have Officer Adam Ewart.
Good evening, thank you so much. I'm Officer Ewart from the 71st Precinct Crime Prevention section. So I'm filling in tonight, but I work closely with community affairs. What I do with crime prevention, I look pretty closely at the crime trends that are going on right here in the community. And I will attend community events and meetings and try to let the public know kind of what's going on and how to prevent these kind of crimes. I can go into just a few of the crime trends right now compared to last year. I can go over that quickly. Murder this year. One is the same as last year. It was only one. This happened this weekend. It was at 1700 Bedford Avenue in the Evansfield complex. A 74-year-old woman was murdered by her roommate. She was stabbed. And the roommate was younger, I believe in her 40s, possibly 50s. And the rest was made on scene at that time. This was on Saturday night. Rape, that is 6 this year, as opposed to 5 last year. So that is a slight increase. Robbery, 23 this year as opposed to 20, so it's another slight increase, a 15% increase. Felony assault, we are down 4%, so that's about the same, 72 as opposed to 75 last year. Burglary, about the same, slightly down, 17 this year as opposed to 18. And grand larcenies, that is a 25% increase this year, 68 as opposed to 54. Many of these involve financial scams. And that's not just, it's older adult VC victims, but it really affects everyone. These are people who are calling, texting, emailing. It's kind of like phishing, as they they're pretending to be someone else, another agency. It could be your bank, Con Edison, Amazon, right? They're trying to get your money. That's the problem. They fool you into giving them money or giving up your account information. So be very careful of that. We always recommend if something feels weird, tell someone, tell us, call our precinct and ask. Just better safe than sorry, protect your money. GLA, that's Grand Larceny Auto. PD, crime prevention. Just put that into Google, you'll see the crime prevention officer list for the entire city. So my face actually appears in the 71st precinct. My contact is right there. Thank you so much, guys. And,
Okay, and with that, that concludes our announcements, and that concludes our public session. I want to thank everyone and for being here and being available for us and letting us know what you're doing and taking the information back as well. I'm going to go into the business session. Madam Secretary, would you please call the roll.
Good night. Abdul, what's about Mayor Abdul? Nicholas Almanai. Present. Fred Baptiste.
Present.
Solan Benjamin. Henry Monticello. Present. Joanna Carr. Present. Suki Chung. Present. Kendall Christensen. Eve Cooley. Here. Saul McCary. Saul. Max Davidson.
Here.
Lisa Etienne.
Present.
Madame Gabois. Bishop Hamilton Gonzalez.
Here.
Shauna Hartley. Present. Rod Herbert. Drew Johnson.
Present.
Bonnie Joseph. Renisha Labari. Maynard Legote. Present. Francisco Leopold. Christian Lavoy.
Present.
Andrew Magnus. Letwin Movina. Marcia Maxwell. Vanna Mears. Rohamina. Lati Muchi. Present. Ethan Norville.
Present.
Denzel Adoro. Isaiah Pickle.
Here.
Hassan Kazi. Vanessa.
Present.
Felice Robertson. Minnie Rosenberger. Melissa Severe. Makari Tandia. Joshua Thomas Serrano. Abigail Kim. Debbie Timothy. Linda Watson Ward, that's me. Don Louters. Present. Jocelyn Williams. Lori. And Steve Zalter. Thank you. 1 minute, I'll do that.
Okay, well, are there any members of the board who did not hear their name called or did not respond to the poll from before? Okay, while the secretary is confirming the count, I would ask for all board members to please review the, if you haven't done so, please review the minutes from the February 26th general board meeting and be ready with any corrections to be made to that document.
We've got 36 members of our 46. We've got a quorum, Mr. Chair.
All right, hearing 36 members present, we have a quorum. All right, this time we're going to go to item number 2, the approval of the February 26 minutes. The minutes have been distributed as part of the package. At this time, are there any corrections to be made to the minutes? Call for a second time. Are there any corrections to be made to the minutes? Hearing no corrections, is there any objection to adopting the minutes by common consent? Hearing no objection, Madam Secretary, please note the minutes are adopted. Oh, hold on a second.
There is one correction to the minutes. Let me apologize for that. On page 3, maybe it was thinking of sitting more than that. It should say approval of the February 26 minutes. Both places. Thank you.
And then I have the details why she's the treasurer. All right, so we have that one correction noted.
Correction to the correction. Approval number 2, it says approval of the January 2026, that's correct. The minutes of January 2025 is the 2025 to be corrected.
All right, so there's just a couple of text errors that are being corrected for the minutes to make sure that. So with that, with those corrections, is there any objection to adoption?
So.
There are no objections, Madam Secretary, please note the minutes are adopted by common consent. All right, at this time, we're going to go to committee reports. The committee reports have been submitted for informational purposes. At this time, are there any committee chairs who have any action items or announcements that they need to make at this time? You need an announcement?
Yeah.
It has to be very brief, 1 minute. But
Probably less.
it's okay, take the time.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Chair of Population and Culture Committee. I just want to announce this weekend, a picnic house at Prospect Park will be the first Brooklyn Open Space, Parks and Open Space Conference. We did send a flyer for people to register to e-blast. The registration is still open. I'm hoping I see some of you there. This is something we've been working on. One more announcement.
Conversation, we're going to be addressing all things you care about, stop removals or bus route changes, or anything to do with differences in how your buses are going to be rerouted or redesigned. Please come to these meetings. The second Wednesday of the month, so just giving you guys a refresher on that.
Okay, thank you. Oh, I'm sorry, we do have, youth service and education. Actually, if we can get you a mic just so we can make sure. Can we bring a mic? Test, test. We're gonna bring you a microphone just because we need it for the live stream, so those go by the numbers. I'm sorry, this time it's only for board members. Hold on.
I'm just coming now.
No, so I'm sorry, actually we're recognizing Melissa. It's only for board members at this time.
Okay, for the committee reports.
Right, the committee report for the board members. So the member, the representative of the committee, the board member has to report.
Okay, so she should discuss the details of the committee.
Right,
Right?
Well, she's gonna give them up.
Okay.
Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Melissa Sever. I am the vice chair for the Youth and Education Service. 260 Eastern Parkway, Brooklyn, New York, 11225. I will be on the panel as well. Being in the panel and participating, please let us know. We would love to have you. Thank you so much. Sorry, April 25th.
If you have a question from. Okay, all right, thank you very much. We have an announcement from the Chair of Economic Development.
I just want to let everyone know Economic Development is running a scavenger hunt from April 17th till May 1st. And you can pick up passports in the board office and participating locations. There's like 25 spots from Utica to Flatbush. So we hope you guys participate.
Thank you very much. All right, are there any other chairs with announcements? We'll get to the voting session. All right, this time we're going to go to item 4, the district manager's report.
All right, you've heard a lot tonight from various people about Fast Track, so I'm not going to read everything that I have here. I will note that there is a public session by DCP about the Fast Track, a virtual info session, happening actually tomorrow, March 25th, from 6 to 7 p.m. on Zoom. So we have that information in our e-blast. We'll continue to send that out. I would encourage you all to attend that. As you heard earlier as well, Department of City Planning and BSA both are having public hearings at the same time. So it's April 1st at 10 a.m. CPC, the CPC one, if you plan on attending, is at 120 Broadway, Lower Concourse in Manhattan. And if you plan to attend the BSA one, it's at 253 Broadway, second floor. And we'll continue to blast that information out to the public. We received a flyer notice from the Department of Sanitation. NYC bins are now available for purchase, they're not free, at Home Depot with options for in-store pickup or home delivery through Instacart, DoorDash, or Uber Eats. The Home Depots at Nostrand Avenue, Hamilton Avenue, Avenue U, Gateway Drive, and Corpsey Ave, those all have these bins. So if you're interested in getting those bins, feel free to go to one of those locations. We received a notice from the Office of Management and Budget stating the Department of Parks and Recreation's request for a cost limitation for Wingate Park Track and Field reconstruction is hereby approved at a little over $2 million. So if you see Councilmember Councilmember Rita Joseph, be sure to thank her for her work on getting the funds for that. Another public hearing, very important. The New York City Department of Finance is proposing to amend its Parking Violation Bureau rules to authorize State University of New York Downstate Health Sciences University police officers to issue parking violations in New York City. Yeah, I got you. No worries. Okay, the New York City Department of Finance is proposing to amend Parking Violations Bureau rules to authorize State University of New York Downstate Health Sciences University police officers to issue parking violations in New York City. It's very important. I read the notice. Basically, enforcement units across the city that do this are going to be authorized to give tickets across the city. You understand what I'm saying?
Across the city.
Okay, so if there's an enforcement bureau in any agency, they are going to be able to get parking tickets in the city of New York. So that information it's in our e-blast, and we'll continue to disseminate that. It's a lot of agencies. I will not read it. It is a lot, and it's a lot you've not heard of, and I haven't heard of. So, correct. They're enforcement. So if you have an elevator that's constantly going out in your building, please reach out to the board office. It's a major issue right now. Just on the administrative side, we have so we put a flyer in the e-blast. If you see this happening, where the hotspots are, so if this person or individuals keep doing it, we can get the agency on it in real time. You did hear, there is a comment period for 7399 Empire Boulevard. We've been sending it out separately from the e-blast, so if you want our e-blast, you should have received it. If you haven't, please let us know. The comment period runs until April 26th. Please go and comment. We have it scheduled to be e-blasted a couple more times, so you will be receiving it moving forward. Let's see. There was a complaint about St. Gabriel's Church. I have reached out to DEP regarding that. I gave them the location of the church. They're going to send an inspector. I might have to work with you to see if the inspector has to go through your materials thing, but we're going to that office the first Friday of every month. It's been very successful. So if you have Grid provides SNAP. With that, the last thing I would say is I just want to thank them for allowing us into their space this evening. They offered, I accepted. And with that, that's my report.
Excuse me, numerous times going up and out and all between public platforms and things of that nature, and people are saying, if you walk the door and they just leave the door, waste right on the sidewalk. That is not acceptable. Also, walk over the left and go. But I don't have to that. There was a sign which said, take a put the dog first, otherwise $100 pound. Where's that? So no one sees that anyway. I think they need to come back and start putting where to do a seat, get things, they don't go, so they know that someone is watching them.
Thank you very much. All right, this time, are there any members of the board who have questions for the district? Yes, we see the.
The dog park that they had requested years ago. I remember when I first started at the board that they wanted a dog park in an area there, because as of now, well, back where the children play, is there any plan slated for that?
Not in this, but it has been a community concern. We can definitely bring it forward to the council member. You know, with projects like these, that money is typically allotted years in advance. So we can reach out to the council member's office to see, and OMB to see what the feasibility is of trying to maneuver
Thank you. Are there any? Okay, seeing none, we are now going to move on to the next item, which is the chairman's report. I just have a few quick items that I want to provide updates to the board. One, I just wanted to say, as we are in our March meeting, we realize we are coming to a close for this year. So what is coming? So the CD9 bylaws prescribe that in April, we are going to be handling a nominations committee, which we canvass the board to identify the members who are interested in running for positions. We will have candidates announced in the May meeting, and at that time, anyone else who is interested still can nominate themselves to be nominated. The slate will close in May, and we have our elections in June. So that process is coming up. So I would invite you to please think about that, about members that you would like to see in leadership roles. If you would like to be in a leadership role, please consider that as well. Please feel free to ask questions if you have if you would like any clarity about the responsibilities of being board members. All positions are open, so any board member can run for all positions. The only caveat would be, but it doesn't apply to anybody who's currently in the room, new members who have to have at least 1 year on the board before they can run for an officer position. But that wouldn't apply to anybody who's currently in the room. So that's coming up. I would ask you to think about that. I think that we've been very fortunate to have some very, very strong leadership on the executive committee. We want to continue with that. There's been a lot of great work, and we'll continue to get people in the seats who are dedicated and committed to make sure that the work works. I did have an opportunity to go along with the first vice chair and second vice chair and district manager to speak with the commanding officer of the 71st precinct. So we did bring up a number of issues, quality of life issues as well, and he did share some news that also you were shared with us as well. Please send our love and thanks for speaking with us. We invite you to come. You can come as well and speak to the board, and we'd love to see you as well. So we'll let you know what the next schedule is. But along those lines, the issues that we hear for us to hear, because that way we can make sure the board gets back to the appropriate entities. I also did want to acknowledge members of the Q team who are here as well. That is very important. The Q team is stands for Quality of Life Team. That was an initiative that was started last year to address quality of life, more immediately address quality of life issues. So in other words, if neighbors noises, if it's cars, parked cars, car issues, abandoned vehicles, things of that nature, their responsibility is to address those things in a more timely manner. They have come before our public safety committee before, and we look forward to speaking to you again, and we will get getting that information from the 71st precinct. And we invite people to come as well to be able to share, to see that news, and also provide. I did want to also make that announcement as well, because typically we would be discussing it around. And it's always been true in terms of, we always had vulnerable neighbors whose properties were on the list. The city has went away from doing a lien sale this year. They're looking at reforming that process in terms of being able to recuperate whatever fees or fines are due, which is a positive first step. One of the things we do want to consider as well is, as a community, talk about how we will reform the process. Sure, the city should get its money if people haven't done it, but at the same time, we're not kicking neighbors out of their houses after 30 years because of a water bill. So it's those kinds of things, looking out for each other and making sure we share. But I wanted to share that because I think this board has been especially sensitive to that and has done so much work around that. So I wanted to share that news. I also want to provide an update again as we come to the end of the year. Community fair is coming up. This is our fourth one. It's our loose track, but it gets better every year. I want to thank our district for going about how much, how many resources we have and how we're able to share information. So keep an eye out for that. That should be the first weekend in June. Additional information will be forthcoming from the board office as they continue to solidify events and vendors. Just as also another quick note, I want to note that in April we have a number of holiday observances that are coming up. With that, as a board, we try to respect that. And as such, please make sure you're looking at the calendar because your usually scheduled meeting may be changing for the month. Okay, so I would ask that everybody please look to make sure that your committee meeting date most likely has changed. So please make sure to note what date it is, and to please make every effort to come. We want to make sure that we're going strong, especially as we continue towards the end of the year. This is the opportunity for us to do whatever projects are in flight to make sure that those are happening successfully, and as well as start that transition period as we wind down the year. So please make sure you look for that. Last two items I wanted to go with you. Things that we've been discussing as a board include downstate hospital. So this is a conversation that we've been having for the last couple of years. Initially, when it came up that downstate may potentially be closing, CD9, though it is not in our district, took a very, very keen interest in what was going on. And we made sure we were at the meetings and we made sure we were advocating for downstate. Again, not because, notwithstanding the fact it's not in our district, but because it is something that affects all of our residents. Similarly, I do want to discuss the resolution that we passed as a board with regards to Mount Prospect. So I am engaged in conversations with the Parks Department and with the city as well in following up with our resolution because there is some question in terms of who the responsible board is, and I'm not here to argue what board is responsible, but we are an affected board and we are an affected district. Mount Prospect literally is not in our district, but we cross the street. Our residents go and they go there and they enjoy that, and it affects us. So not that we've taken a position, but actually that is part of the problem. We have not even been included in the process to take a decision. So we've already reached out to the city. I'm going to be having additional communications in terms of insisting that this is a problem. There is no reason why CD9 and our residents should ever have been shut out of this dialogue, and that's a problem. So I'm going to be providing updates to the board in terms of where we're going with this. But I encourage this board to always continue to advocate for our residents, for our district, to make sure we have a voice in what happens in the city. There's no way something should happen and we don't have a voice and we're not able to impact that or at least say something about that. That is all I have at this time. I don't have any action items, but again, I'll be providing updates as we continue conversations. At this time, I will take questions regarding the report. Okay, hearing none, thank you very much. All right, we are now going to continue in the agenda. We're going to go to item number 6, the voting session. This evening, we have 2 items that we are considering. We have the street co-naming. So we heard from representatives in street co-naming on Franklin Avenue between Easter Parkway and President Streets. The transportation chair presented the resolution. And we reported that the committee voted unanimously in support. So at this time, it is on the floor. Are there any questions with regards to item A? Call for a second time. Oh, I'm sorry. We'll take speakers. So Ms. March, can I see you? Are there any other questions, comments? Last call. Once it's closed, we're voting.
I just wanted to know, is there any type of a rough estimate of how many Panamanians live within Ward 9 as opposed and in Ward 8? Because according to the minutes, Ward 8 also is part of the parade and part of the thing. Just curious.
We'll share, and if there's a representative of the Silver. So the question is there any idea of how many residents, Panamanian residents currently are?
Yeah, currently, and it's not through the city planning, like it says, only 45,000, but within the catchment area, between 8 and 9, they're about close to about 3,500, right? There's kids and families and so forth. So a small portion, but remember, historically, they've been here since 1953. Yes.
Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you. Okay, so that was the only question on the speakers list. The speakers list is now closed. At this time, we are going to call the question. Are there any members of the board who entered after the roll call? Just so we can look for the record. All right, seeing none. Is there any objection to adopting this resolution to approve the co-naming? Is there any objection? Is there any call for a second time? Is there any objection to common consent for adopting this resolution? Hearing none. Madam Secretary, please note for the record, the co-naming resolution is adopted by CD9 by common consent. Okay, no problem. All right, at this time, we're going to consider item B, fast track resolution. The resolution was presented during, or was discussed during the session by the land use chair. It was adopted by the committee and forwarded by the executive committee to the full board. At this time, are there any questions or comments with regards to the resolution? We'll take a speaker to this. Any questions? Anyone wish to speak on the motion? Okay. Hearing none. At this time, is there any objection to adopting this resolution by common consent? Call for a second time. Is there any objection to adopting this resolution by common consent? Hearing no objection. Madam Secretary, please note for the record, the resolution is adopted by 69 by common consent. All right, we are now into item 7, new business. For item 7, is there any new business to be considered by the board? I will remind board members, be conscious of the time. If this is a matter to be considered, we should have considered referring it to the appropriate committee. Is there any new business for the board at this time? Call for a second time. Is there any new business? Hearing no new business, we have completed our agenda. I want to thank all members of the board. I want to thank all residents who have come. I want to thank all those who are listening as well on the live stream. And please, if there are any questions or issues, please make sure to contact the district manager, the CD9 office. Those members or others who have questions, please feel free to speak to the doctor or myself, and we'll try to answer your questions. Madam Secretary, please note, we stand adjourned. Time is now.